Sometimes when things are just handed to us for free, when things come too easily, we don't actually learn how to appreciate them. I worried a lot and felt a lot of like guilt and shame with my debt. For the many years of my life, felt like I could not complete anything I set my mind to. I felt like I had never really set a goal and finished it. Because it's not easy to be more frugal and save your money or make extra money to put it towards your debt. It's not easy. It's hard work, but it's worth it, and we'll get into that. All right, I think I drilled that point home enough. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Sunday chat video. Once again, we are going to be talking about debt. Money and debt specifically are topics that I'm super passionate about, so I'm really excited to be sitting down and chatting with you guys today. Like all of my Sunday chats, we are just going to be having an unfiltered, from the heart conversation. Specifically today, we are going to be talking about lessons that having debt taught me. These are both life and money lessons that I'm not sure I would have learned, or maybe it would have taken me a lot longer to learn them had I not been $55,000 in debt. No matter what situation life throws at me, I feel like I'm that kind of person that is maybe an annoying kind of person who tries to find the positive, who tries to find a learning experience in everything. And there was so much learning on my debt-free journey, on my money journey in general. And I really wanted to have a cozy, heart-to-heart, friendly sit down chat and talk to you guys about what those lessons were. Maybe you've already learned them, maybe they're new to you, but I hope this video can be helpful and comforting no matter where you are along your money journey. So I just made a cup of like relaxing tea. I just put on my coziest sweatpants and we're sitting here on the couch. I don't think it can get like more informal than this. I've had the idea for this video for a little while, but this morning, I woke up and just instantly felt the urge to journal about this topic and really write down what were these concrete lessons that my debt has taught me so that I could today film this video for you guys. It was just like, I don't know, it was just calling to me. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Zoe. I live in Montreal, I'm 27, and I've been sharing my money journey here on YouTube for many years now. It started with paying off my student loans, learning how to budget, learning how to stick to a budget, my cash envelopes journey, and most recently, the end of my debt repayment journey by paying off my car loan. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. I post a lot of personal finance as well as just general lifestyle content, always trying to just be open and honest and share my life experiences with you guys. And whether or not you're new, please like this video by giving it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel. So I'm not gonna go into my whole debt-free journey in this video because I feel like I just talked about it in my last Sunday chat, which I will link up here if you haven't seen it. And I'll just link my whole like personal finance playlist. So if this is the first time you're seeing me, you can kind of go back and see what's up. But very quickly, I had $40,000 of government and bank student loans. I paid that off in the matter of a couple of years. I was very aggressive with it. I was very obsessed, honestly, with paying down that debt. Once that debt closed, I was spending like willy-nilly. I was spending on everything. I had no plan in sight, and I ended up getting myself back into debt, this time more so because of like some consumer debt and also a car insurance thing. So that was about $3,000. I paid that off, and then I once again got myself back into debt, this time with a car loan. So the student loan and the car loan, I would say, are my healthiest forms of debt. The student loan, of course, didn't have any interest until 6 months after I graduated, and it was at a lower interest rate. And the car loan is something that a lot of people experience. But in all of those cases, I hated having debt. I am not someone who feels comfortable with debt. I know there are a lot of people who do feel comfortable with it, who would rather invest their money elsewhere, who love taking on debt. I am not that person. I was raised very anti-debt. I was raised to be afraid of debt. Like, my mom didn't have a mortgage growing up. We lived in a small house and she paid it off as quickly as she could. So that was kind of the role model that was set for me from a young age with my mom. It was both very positive in not having debt, but there also was a little element of fear there and just kind of anxiety as it comes to debt. So I definitely worried too much along my debt-free journey. I worried a lot and felt a lot of like guilt and shame with my debt. But overall, I am proud of myself for how quickly I paid it off. So I said I wasn't gonna get into my story, but there you go. That was longer than I anticipated. That note actually about the kind of guilt and shame is something that I hadn't thought of when I was journaling this morning. So maybe we're gonna add number 6, which is that you are not a bad person for taking on debt. You are a human being on this earth where opportunities are presented to us, like an opportunity to go to school. Needs are presented on us, like perhaps the need for a car. And of course, wants are thrust upon us everywhere we look, including on my channel here, right? Like I do sponsored ads for clothing and stuff like that. Everywhere you look, there's billboards, there's ads. The entire world is trying to sell us stuff all the time, or for having material wants. I want material things too. I like material things. At the end of the day, we are only human. So if you do get yourself in a situation where you are in debt, you are not a bad person. You do not need to feel so guilty. Try your best not to let it keep you up at night and rather focus your energy on paying it off as quickly as possible and maybe not letting it happen again if it's something that bothers you. And of course, there are, I would say, different like ratings of debt. Like people will say that student loan debt is good debt. A car loan is, like, depending on who you ask, a good debt. And then of course, credit card debt is the debt that we all want to avoid. We want to get rid of it as fast as possible because no one wants to be out here paying 20% interest. That is just crazy. And then I guess there's even worse loans if you're like going to the loan shark and you know those like absolute horror stories. Stay away from them. All right, so the first and what I think is the most important thing that having debt taught me is completion. I have always been someone who struggles to complete things, whether that's TV shows or TV series, whether that's projects, whether that's goals that I set my mind to. For example, I have the hardest time sticking to a fitness routine. I will set a fitness goal. I will set a goal of a number of workouts per week that I want to do, and I just have the hardest time sticking to it. For the many years of my life, felt like I could not complete anything I set my mind to. I felt like I had never really set a goal and finished it. Like, really. I would set budgets and I would break them. I would set, rules about texting a certain person back and I would break it. My whole life, I was breaking the promises that I was keeping to myself and related to anything and everything, study time, shopping, eating, like whatever it was. I was constantly breaking promises to myself. It wasn't until I got older that I started hearing that expression that self-confidence comes from keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And I really do believe this to be true. That being said, it is still something that I struggle with, but paying off my debt showed me that I could complete something. And I did it not once, not twice, but 3 times. I did it 3 times. So I have now 3 real like milestones. I mean, the middle one, the $3,000, it wasn't such a milestone, but to me, the biggest one was paying off my student loan. I set my mind to it. I made it my priority and I did it. And it showed me that I can do something I put my mind to and I can do something that is challenging. Because it's not easy to be more frugal and save your money or make extra money to put it towards your debt. It's not easy. It's hard work, but it's worth it, and we'll get into that. So going on this debt-free journey really did prove to me that I can accomplish something that I set my mind to, and now my next step is to take that same energy and to take that same idea and apply it to other things in my life and know that it's not just debt that I am like good at doing. Like I would say, oh, I'm good at paying off debt, but eventually you want to be in a position where you don't have any more debt to pay off. Like I'm in that position right now. So now it's like, okay, what am I good at? What is the next thing I'm going to complete? What is the next goal I'm going to achieve? And I have to get it in my head that I can do those things. But reflecting and seeing how I did it for my debt showed me that it is possible. So if it's possible for me, who seriously never finished the commitments she made to herself, never kept the promises she made to herself, I promise you guys it is possible for you as well. And that's really what I want for you guys. Like I love talking about money with you because I want your financial success so much in whatever way that looks like to you. We all have those different goals. And when you guys comment and you're like, oh, I'm on my debt repayment journey, I'm so close, or I just paid off my debt, I'm just like over the moon happy for you guys. So feel free to leave any comments about your own personal journey down below. I would love to read them. All right, so in that same area, the second thing that my debt taught me is to prioritize. You will accomplish whatever it is you prioritize. In the past, look, I prioritized boys over school. I was like a boyaholic. I was like boy crazy, obsessed checking my phone, obsessed with dating. Does he like me? And I put boys and my love life before I put school, and my grades as a result suffered, and I was sad about having bad grades. But hey, what do you expect? I was so busy thinking about boys. If you prioritize your social life over your financial health, you may end up in a situation where you're constantly going out for drinks, constantly going out for dinner, and your bank account is suffering. If you prioritize having the most beautiful home on the block or driving the fanciest car, your finances might suffer as well. So whatever you prioritize, that is where the success will be. That is where your energy will go. And whatever you are not prioritizing will suffer. When I graduated school and I had all of this debt, I kind of thought that I could go out as much as I want, go out to eat, go out to drink, buy as many clothes as I wanted from like Aritzia. I was obsessed with Aritzia back then. I thought I could do whatever I want and that basically my debt would automatically pay itself off. I lived alone. I had an apartment that, yes, was a good deal, but there were better deals out there. Like, I was living an extravagant lifestyle, and I prioritized my lifestyle over paying off my debt and saving for the future. Like, I was just spending everything I had. I was living paycheck to paycheck on a $65,000 Canadian salary because I just didn't prioritize money. I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about budgeting, so I didn't think about it. When COVID hit and I had no choice but to take a hard look at myself and my habits, I flipped the switch and I started prioritizing my debt. My debt was the thing that I got tunnel vision about, and I would decline plans. I would cook at home. I was eating like those cheap meals. I remember there was one month where I like got rid of my Nespresso and I was drinking like the worst bad coffee. I tried everything because I wanted to prioritize my debt. Since then, I found ways to achieve balance. I've also really appreciated the power of a side hustle and increasing my income. But when I was in the real depths of that debt repayment, every like extra dollar I had, I put it towards my debt. Birthday gift, debt. Christmas gift, debt. Bonus at work, debt. Like, that's how I did it. I feel like it's that thing where it's like where your energy flows, the energy goes. I don't know, there's some saying like that, but it's like where your priority flows, the results will go. Something like that, okay? You know what I mean? And I've said it once, I've said it twice, I will say it again. I lost friends along this journey. I had a group of friends who are beautiful girls. I wish them so much well. Like, there's no hard feelings, but what we did to spend time together was ordering expensive takeout, going out for really nice dinners, and that shit is so expensive. I had to stop doing it, and I started feeling I was leaving myself out. I was excluding myself because I just figured that my budgeting journey was more important. And I started prioritizing those friendships who were okay with staying in and okay with eating like frozen pizza, and who, you know, supported me on my debt repayment journey and my money journey. And that's how you're gonna know who your true friends are. So prioritize those friends as well, the friends who really have your best interests at heart, who have your back. And also don't forget to be that friend when your friends are in the same situation. Number 3 is that a little goes a long way, and the extra work is worth it. I am a huge fan of a side hustle to this day. I still have a side hustle. Even when I had my 9-to-5 corporate job, this was before COVID, I would volunteer at the spin studio to get free classes. I just always wanted to have that little thing on the side that would either make me extra money or save me money. A few months after lockdown hit and I could no longer work at the spin studio, my YouTube channel started getting monetized. And in the beginning, I would take everything I earned from AdSense, which was like anywhere from $200 to like $400 a month. I would just spend it. I would go straight to online shopping and I would spend it. Once I got serious about my debt repayment, all of that extra income went towards paying off my debt. That was my philosophy that powered me through my debt, was do what you can to make an extra dollar and put that dollar towards your debt. I was selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I was propagating all of my plants and selling them on Facebook Marketplace. I would do anything like for a dollar. And that sounds bad, but I don't mean it that way. Dirty mind. I was just always looking for opportunities to earn a little bit extra and then take that extra and put it towards my debt. I know a lot of people would say, oh, you have a great job, or why do you want to work extra? Like, just enjoy your free time. Like, don't you want to watch TV? And it's like, yes, I want to watch TV, but I'm going to watch TV when my debt is paid off and my savings are on auto deposit, and when I can feel comfortable that I'm setting myself up for a beautiful, financially secure life. That was my kind of approach. And the extra work was worth it. I don't look back and regret not watching TV. I don't look back and regret maybe, you know, being a weirdo, clipping flipping on my plants and putting them on Facebook Marketplace. I don't regret it. I'm so glad I did that. I had fun. You know, you do that, you listen to a podcast in the background. I would watch TV while I clipped my plants. I was filming and editing YouTube videos after work, and before COVID, I was going in on the weekends to work at the spin studio. I don't regret any of that because it got me to where I am today, which is debt-free and feeling so much more secure. Unless you are really reducing your sleep or reducing quality time with your family, unless you are giving up something that is really and truly valuable, I don't think you will regret putting in the extra work if it's going to give you extra income. And then just be smart about it and use that extra income to put it towards your debt. So a little goes a long way. It's so easy to think that you are too good to spend an hour to make $15, right? Like let's say I spent, an hour making the plant and posting it on Facebook Marketplace and then going to meet up with the person. That's basically minimum wage here in Quebec. So I could have been like, oh, I'm too good for minimum wage. No, I'm not too good for minimum wage. And over time, that $15 will add up and it's so worth it. That is one that I'm really, really passionate about because I know so many people want to turn up their nose at extra work. They don't want to work that service job or work that minimum wage job or spend that extra time to earn $10 or even $5. But when I was young, my dad taught me a really valuable lesson about money. I remember there was one time he bought something. It was like really weird. It was like a stick because he locked us out of the car in like the Walmart parking lot. He like locked his keys in the car. So that was back when you could like push the thing and his window was cracked open a little bit. So he bought this like wooden stick from like Walmart or like a craft store, used it to unlock the car, then went back inside and returned the stick. And the stick was like 25 cents. And I remember my brother and I were like, Dad, why are you wasting your time returning that stick? It's only 25 cents. And he said, if you had 25 cents in your pocket, would you throw it on the ground? Would you throw it out? Would you get rid of it? No. My dad taught me over time that all money is valuable and no amount, no matter how small, is something to like sniff at or disregard, and to really appreciate everything you have or everything that comes to you. I think that same lesson applies really well to investing, where your money can grow over time. So I don't think that applies just to debt repayment, but those extra dollars, that extra $15, if you invest it now, it might sound silly. You might just want to spend it on, croissants at the bakery or coffee, but it could take you farther in the long run if you invest it, use it to pay off your debt, whatever that may be. All right, I think I drilled that point home enough. Okay, my number 4 is a little bit of tough love, and I am telling you guys this point with so much love, okay? So please understand that. Number 4 is that life is not always fair, but envy will get you nowhere. I got into university and I knew I couldn't afford to be there. My parents made it very clear they had enough money to help me out with my first year, and they were like, after that, you are on your own. You got to get a loan. You've got to figure it out. Already helping me with my first year is an immense privilege, and it's a gift. But I was surrounded by people whose parents were paying their entire way through, who did not have to get a job. Their parents paid for their rent, their food, their tuition, their books, everything. So I was comparing myself to these other kids around me, and I was so envious. I was so resentful of my parents for not being able to pay my way through school. I always had a job. I was always working. I was always stressed about money. And I remember thinking, oh, if my parents were paying my tuition, I'd have better grades. If my parents were paying my tuition, I'd have more friends. I'd go to more parties. I'd be happier. If my parents were paying my tuition, I could have better clothes, and so more boys would like me. Now I'm just like, how silly was that? Because my parents did the best that they could. They did an amazing job. And I just should have been grateful to be in university in the first place. When you're so busy looking at what other people have and what you don't have, you literally miss out on your own blessings. I had the opportunity to learn the value of hard work during university. All of the jobs I had throughout university allowed me to get hired at the Big Four consulting firm, where my peers, it was a competitive job to get into. And it's, I'm proud of myself for getting that job. And all of my experience led me to being the person that I am, to get that job, to then hate that job and be where I am here today. Every experience is your own personal experience, and there's really no use comparing your situation to others. Now, what really sparked this point for me is that I have a video from 3 years ago when I paid off my student loan, or I wasn't done at this point. I had paid off $20,000. So I made a video talking about how I paid off $20,000 in student loan debt. So 2 of the major ways that I plowed through that debt was I got a signing bonus from work, and I got a really generous birthday gift from my mom. It was like, I don't know what happened, like, honestly, and it's kind of a long story, and it's not really something that I want to get into in this video because it's obviously personal between my mother and I, but it wasn't like, here you go, here's $4,000. Like, if it had been like that, you know, she would have maybe done it earlier on while I was in school or something, right? But anyways, I got these 2 lump sum payments, and a lot of people on that video were like, well, of course you could pay off your debt. You had a good job. You had a signing bonus. Like, looking at these elements of my story and making excuses as to that's why I could do it, and then that's why they can't do it. Like, oh, it's easy for you to say because you worked as a consultant. It's easy for you to say because you got a signing bonus. Meanwhile, I was working as a consultant, looking at the people who were working in finance whose signing bonuses were bigger than mine and whose salaries were bigger than mine. There's always somewhere else to look, and all you are doing when you're looking at someone else and feeling sorry for yourself is making excuses and stopping yourself from moving forward. I understand that situations are difficult. If you graduate from university and you can't find a job, that is difficult. I empathize with you. But no matter what situation we are in, I genuinely believe that we can find ways to make things work for us. And looking around at others and comparing, like I did, like I have been doing that for years, it's just not gonna get you anywhere, and it's gonna keep you stuck where you are. Later on, when you eventually achieve your goal, you're gonna look back and wish you had spent less time comparing yourself and complaining, once again, like me, because you'll look back and you'll see, oh, I had so many amazing things. I had so many blessings that you just couldn't see in the moment. So I highly encourage you guys, whether it's paying off debt, increasing your savings, increasing your income, stop looking around at other people. Don't make excuses for yourself. Don't say, oh, they can do this because they have that and I don't have that. You have what's available to you. Work with what you have. Again, remember, a little goes a long way. Can you put in a little bit of extra work? And so what if someone's gonna get there 3 times faster than you, 2 times faster than you, 5 times faster than you, 10 times faster than you? It doesn't matter how quickly someone else is able to do it. If you sit there and you say, this person makes twice as much money than me, so they're gonna pay off their debt 2 times faster than me, well, at least I'm gonna pay it off, period. It's better than saying I'm not gonna do anything because they have more money than me. It's better to be 2 times slower than someone than not to start at all. It's better to be 5 times slower than someone than not to start at all. If it takes you 10 years to pay off your debt instead of it taking someone 3, you could complain about it being 10 years and you could do nothing, or you can do everything you can and let it be 10 years. And then after 10 years, you're free. The end is in sight no matter what. And I just want to encourage everyone to don't be like me and don't make a million excuses. I genuinely think I would have had a better time in university was I not looking around, feeling sorry for myself, complaining. I could have gotten those good grades that I wanted. I could have gotten literally anything I wanted had I just stopped being so miserable. So at the end of the day, life is not fair. Some people graduate and get jobs that pay 6 figures right away, like those finance people or maybe some engineers. Some people graduate and have a good job but are taking care of family members. Some people graduate and have a lower paying job and are taking care of family members. Everyone's situation is different, but looking at others with envy will get you nowhere. All right, the very last lesson that my debt taught me is the value of money. I feel like all of this wraps it up very nicely, but I think having had to pay for my education myself, it really makes me value the experience that I had and the education that I have. Sometimes when things are just handed to us for free, when things come too easily, we don't actually learn how to appreciate them. Having had debt, having worked through university, I really value hard work and I value money when it comes to me. I'm grateful for every dollar I get. I'm so grateful to be debt-free. I'm grateful for every dollar that came my way along my debt-free journey to help me pay that off and get that weight off my shoulders. Having debt just really taught me the true value of things because I felt like I had to work a little bit harder to kind of pay for life, right? Like when I first started my job, while my colleagues were right away starting to think about buying a home and saving for this and saving for that, I was like putting money in to fill up the hole of my debt. So it felt like I was working harder. And at the time, like I said, I was a complainer. I felt like it sucked. But now I look back and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to learn the value of a dollar, to learn the value of hard work. And in the end, learn the lesson of not comparing myself to others because you will get to your end destination. And that brings us back to lesson number 1, which is you can do it. Along the lines of learning the value of money, I feel like I've really learned along this journey that money can buy you peace of mind. I don't know if it can buy you happiness. I guess maybe I'm still figuring that out, but it can definitely buy you peace of mind. I have so much peace of mind in the last few weeks of being debt-free, knowing that I'm saving up for my future, building my emergency fund. The more and more I build those foundations, the more at peace I feel, the better I sleep at night. So these were all just really, really important lessons for me to learn, and I don't think they would have been possible without having gone through this whole debt-free journey. So I really hope you guys enjoyed learning these lessons. I'm feeling a little bit insecure because I'm like, was I too harsh on you guys with that previous one? But it's what I genuinely want you to know. Like, you can do it. Stop looking around at others. Remember that J. Cole lyric, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. I am cheering you guys on. I am rooting for you. And I'm also so grateful for your support along my own journey. It seriously means the world to me. So I think I'm gonna stop talking now. I said everything I had to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.